Imagine spending your entire life building a fortune. You start with nothing, you work hard for decades, you save, you invest, you take risks, you finally reach a point where your net worth is in the millions. You believe your children and grandchildren will be set for life. Now picture this, within 10 years of your passing, the money is gone, not because of the stock market, not because of a housing crash, but because you didn't protect it. It happens all the time. In North America, in Canada, in the United States, families lose generational wealth faster than they build it. The reasons are not always obvious. A spouse remarries, assets get divided in divorce settlements, taxes take a huge bite before anyone sees the inheritance. Children without financial discipline spend recklessly, legal disputes drain money through endless attorney fees. Some heirs have no experience managing large sums. They invest in risky ventures, they get taken advantage of by friends or business partners. They make lifestyle upgrades they can't sustain. Before long, the money is scattered and the opportunity is gone. Research shows that around 70% of wealthy families lose their wealth by the second generation. By the third generation, the number climbs to 90%. It's called shirt sleeves to shirt sleeves in 3 generations. In other words, from building wealth to losing it all in less than a lifetime. This isn't just a statistic, it's real. Look at the stories in your own community. A local business owner dies. The kids inherit the company, but have no interest in running it. They sell it for quick cash within a few years. The money is spent, or take the lottery curse. People win millions overnight. They believe it will last forever. In 5 years, they're broke. It's not because the money wasn't enough, it's because the plan wasn't there. If you think a simple will is enough to protect your family, think again. A will only says who gets what. It doesn't stop lawsuits. It doesn't prevent wasteful spending. It doesn't block opportunistic new spouses from stepping in. If you want your wealth to last, you need to control how it is passed down. You need a structure that shields it from divorce, taxes, and bad decisions. You need something that can carry your wishes forward, even when you're gone. And that's exactly what the wealthiest families use. Most people believe that investing like the wealthy means buying stocks, owning rental properties, purchasing insurance policies, diversifying into mutual funds or index funds. These are good tools, but they are not shields. They can grow wealth. They cannot always protect it. High returns mean little if your assets are exposed. One lawsuit can freeze your accounts. One divorce can cut your net worth in half. One bad business deal can wipe out years of progress. The truth is, there is a difference between building wealth and keeping it. Building is about growth. Keeping is about protection. Many investors focus on the rate of return. They chase high-yield opportunities. They forget that the higher the return, the higher the risk. If you own properties under your personal name, they can be targeted in a lawsuit. If you hold all your investments in taxable accounts, they can be heavily taxed when passed to your heirs. Even the most successful investments can be dismantled by poor planning. It's not just about making money, it's about ensuring no one can take it from you without your consent. The wealthy know this. They don't rely on good luck or hope that family harmony will last forever. They put legal and financial barriers between their assets and the outside world. That's why their portfolios survive lawsuits. That's why their wealth survives divorces. That's why their children and grandchildren receive their inheritance intact. It's not the size of the portfolio that matters. It's how well it's protected from everyone who wants a piece of. The wealthiest families in North America have a quiet weapon. It's not a stock tip. It's not a secret real estate market. It's something called a trust. A trust is a legal arrangement. You place assets into it. You no longer own them in your personal name, but you still control how they are used and who benefits from them. Think of it as a locked box with instructions attached. The box is managed by someone you choose. This person or company is called the trustee. The people who receive benefits from the trust are the beneficiaries. The magic of a trust is separation. The assets are no longer legally yours. That means if you get sued, if you go through a divorce, if you face bankruptcy, the assets in the trust are shielded. Wealthy families use trusts for many reasons: to protect assets from legal claims, to reduce or eliminate estate taxes, to control how heirs receive money over time, to prevent reckless spending by beneficiaries. You can set conditions: money for education only. Funds released at certain ages, support for starting a business, but not for gambling or luxury cars. The trust can pay a monthly income to your children for life. It can fund their college education, can provide down payments for homes, and it can stop payments if they engage in destructive behavior. You can also use a trust to make sure your wealth stays in the family. If your child divorces, their spouse cannot touch the trust assets. If your spouse remarries after your death, the new partner cannot claim your trust assets. This is how the rich control their wealth from beyond the grave. Their money works for their heirs, but under their rules, not the court's rules, not an ex-spouse's rules, not a creditor's rules. A trust gives you the ability to decide how your wealth is used for decades, even long after you're gone. Some of the most powerful examples of wealth preservation come from families you already know by name: the Rockefellers, the Waltons, the Mellons. They have held on to their wealth for over a century, not because they avoided spending, but because they used trusts and other protective structures. These families understood that money alone is not enough. Values and systems have to be passed down with the assets. That means setting rules for how money can be used and putting trained professionals in charge of enforcing those rules. On the other side, there are families who had everything and lost it. All celebrities who earned hundreds of millions but died broke, athletes who made more in a few years than most people do in a lifetime but declared bankruptcy. In many cases, the problem wasn't bad luck, it was a lack of protection. One famous example is of lottery winners. They receive massive payouts. They spend on homes, cars, and gifts to friends. They invest in businesses they don't understand. Within a few years, the money is gone. Family members fight lawsuits, start taxes pile up. Contrast that with families who create trusts. The money is never handed over in one lump sum. It is released in controlled amounts. It funds specific purposes. It remains protected from outsiders. Some families have been able to maintain their fortune through wars, depressions, and market crashes because their wealth is structured to survive those events. That's the real difference between being rich for a moment and being rich for generations. A trust works through three main roles. The grantor is the person who creates the trust and puts assets into it. The trustee is the individual or company responsible for managing the assets. The beneficiaries are the people or organizations you choose to receive benefits from the trust. Once the trust is created, you can decide exactly how the money or assets will be distributed. You can choose to give beneficiaries a monthly allowance. You can set rules for lump sum payments when certain milestones are reached. You can tie distributions to specific achievements like graduating from college or buying a first home. You can also add protective clauses: no payouts if the beneficiary is involved in criminal activity, no payouts if they have substance abuse issues until they complete treatment, no payouts that could be claimed by an ex-spouse in divorce proceedings. The trustee earns a management fee for handling the trust. That's why choosing the right trustee is critical. You need someone honest, financially skilled, and preferably backed by a reputable company with oversight. You can even appoint a separate trust protector or oversight committee. Their job is to make sure the trustee follows your instructions exactly. They have the power to remove or replace the trustee if necessary. The real strength of a trust lies in the rules you write into it. Those rules act as your voice. They guide how your wealth is used. They ensure that your assets provide security and opportunity without enabling wasteful habits. When set up properly, a trust is not just a container for money, it is a framework for managing wealth responsibly across decades. In North America, one of the biggest threats to an inheritance is estate tax in the United States. If your estate exceeds the federal exemption limit, the government can take a large percentage before your heirs receive anything. Some states add their own inheritance taxes on top. In Canada, while there is no direct estate tax, there is a deemed disposition tax. Your assets are treated as if they were sold on the day you die. This can trigger a significant capital gains tax bill. Trusts can be used to reduce or even eliminate these taxes legally. By moving assets into a trust, they are no longer considered part of your personal estate. That means when you pass away, those assets are not taxed the same way. High-profile families have used this strategy for decades. Donald Trump's father transferred assets through trusts to reduce the tax burden. Warren Buffett has publicly stated he will pass most of his wealth through charitable trusts. This allows them to direct their assets according to their wishes, while avoiding unnecessary taxation without a trust. Your heirs might be forced to sell property or businesses to pay the tax bill. That can destroy a source of long-term income for the family. With a trust, the assets remain intact. The income they produce can be used to support your heirs, and the tax liability is greatly reduced. This isn't about avoiding responsibilities. It's about using the rules in place to protect your life's work. Money you've already paid taxes on once shouldn't be taxed again in a way that forces your family to lose what you build. Many people believe trusts are only for billionaires. The truth is that middle-class families can benefit from them too. If you own a home, run a small business, or expect to receive an inheritance, A. Trust can protect those assets from being lost through legal disputes or poor planning. In the United States and Canada, you can set up a trust with as little as $100,000 or $200,000 in assets. It doesn't have to be millions. You can start small and add more over time. There are different types of trusts to choose from. A revocable trust allows you to change or cancel it while you're alive. An irrevocable trust cannot be changed once it's created, but offers stronger protection from taxes and lawsuits. Domestic trusts are set up in your own country. Offshore trusts are established in jurisdictions with favorable laws for privacy and asset protection, even if your only major asset is your family home. Putting it in a trust can prevent it from being tied up in probate. It can ensure your children inherit it without delays or extra legal costs. If you have life insurance, you can have the payout go directly into a trust. This prevents the money from being spent all at once and keeps it available for long-term needs. The main point is that you don't need extreme wealth to use a trust. You just need the desire to keep your assets safe and to control how they are used after you're gone with the right setup. Your wealth can work for your family for decades instead of disappearing within a few years. Where there is money, there are people looking to take advantage of it. Trusts are powerful tools, but the wrong setup or the wrong people in charge can turn them into a disaster. There are fake trust services that target people who don't understand how they work. They promise guaranteed high returns. They claim your money will be safe no matter what happens. They offer no independent oversight. Once the money is transferred, it disappears into risky investments or is taken outright. Some scammers operate offshore. They take advantage of the fact that foreign trusts are harder to monitor. They may even set themselves up as both the trustee and the supposed overseer, with no one truly holding them accountable to protect yourself. Work only with established trust companies that are regulated in your country. Demand regular, transparent reports on how the trust assets are invested. Separate the trustee role from the oversight role so there is a check on their power. If a company promises returns that sound too good to be true, walk-away trusts are not magic investment machines. They are legal structures for protection and controlled distribution of assets. Investment returns should come from sound, diversified strategies managed by professionals. The wrong trustee can drain your wealth faster than any tax bill. Choosing the right one is just as important as deciding what goes into the trust in the first place. A trust is just one part of a complete legacy plan to truly protect your wealth. You need to combine it with other tools and strategies. Life insurance can be directed into a trust. This ensures the payout is managed according to your rules. It can provide a steady stream of income instead of a single lump sum. Business ownership can be structured through an LLC or corporation that is owned by the trust. This keeps business assets separate from personal liabilities. It also allows for smoother succession if you pass away or step back from operations. A family office is another option for larger estates. It is a dedicated team that manages investments, oversees tax planning, coordinates with the trust, and handles the family's financial education. Financial education is critical. Without it, even a well-structured trust can fail. Heirs need to understand how money works, how investments generate returns, and why protecting the principal is more important than chasing risky profits. You can also write a wealth mission statement. This is a document that explains your values and goals for the money. It guides future generations in making decisions that align with your vision. It turns wealth into a tool for purpose rather than just spending. If you don't teach your heirs how to manage and respect wealth, the best legal structures in the world won't stop them from losing it. Combining education with protection is the only way to make sure your legacy L. If you want to start protecting your wealth with a trust, begin by getting clear on your goals. Decide who you want to provide for. Decide how you want them to benefit. Decide what conditions you want in place. Next, find the right professionals. Look for estate planning attorneys with proven experience in setting up trusts. Work with CPAs who understand both tax law and long-term financial planning. If you choose a trust company as your trustee, research their track record and make sure they are regulated and insured. You don't need to set up the largest trust immediately. You can start with a smaller amount and expand it over time. The key is to begin the process while you are healthy and able to make decisions. Waiting until it's urgent limits your options and increases costs. Even a simple trust can prevent your assets from being tied up in court for months or years. It can ensure your family receives what you intended without unnecessary delays or expenses. Every year you wait, you leave more of your wealth unprotected. Once it's gone, it's almost impossible to get it back. Wealth isn't just about making money, it's about protecting it. Trusts are not about greed, they are about responsibility. Your legacy is built on both the assets you leave behind and the values you pass down. We've covered how trusts can protect your wealth, guide how it's used, and keep it working for your family long after you're gone. The tools are there for anyone willing to take action. You don't have to be a billionaire to start, you just need the commitment to protect what you've built. If you found value in this video, like it so more people can learn these strategies. Subscribe to The Passive Path. For more practical wealth building and protection tips, leave a comment with your thoughts or questions, and share this video with someone you care about who could benefit from knowing how to safeguard their future. I wish you success in building and protecting your legacy. Feel free to explore the other videos on this channel for more strategies that work in the real world. I'll see you in the next video.